Hi, Janelle here with Sheep Hill Herbs. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video. I'm happy to have you here today. Let's take a deep breath together before we get started. Close your eyes. Hand on your heart. Let's take a deep breath in and let it out. And let's do that one more time. And let it out. So in today's video, I've never shared on this topic before, and I'm not sure why, but I'm going to go over a list of 8 reasons that you might be a good candidate for home birth, or maybe not reasons why, but you should have these 8 things in place. You should be able to check off this list if you're looking to do a home birth. So I'm Janelle. I'm an herbalist, long time, 24 years. And I'm also a master herbalist and among many other things. But one thing I've done in my life is have had multiple home births. And maybe one day I'll share those full stories, but not in this video. So in this video, let's start with number 1. You should be healthy. Perfect health? No, that's not a requirement, but no pre-existing conditions. And when you're working with a midwife, because that is who you will work with for a home birth, they will let you know or will be monitoring. And I say they. I've always had 2 midwives working together. But the midwives or midwife that you're working with will be monitoring to make sure you do not get any pregnancy-related conditions cropping up. And if you do, they'll usually immediately refer you to a hospital instead of having a home birth. Preeclampsia is one of those. But a midwife will sit and talk with you like the first time that you're deciding to do a home birth. And if there is some kind of pre-existing condition, she may refer you to someone else or say that it's just not a good idea for the many obvious reasons. Childbirth is safer than it's ever been, I would say. But there are still many, many risks and many things to keep in mind and to be careful of. And your midwife should be able to have all of that plan in place. But good health is key. 2, you should have the support of your spouse. So you might, as a pregnant mom, you might find yourself having a deep desire to have a home birth, but your spouse, your husband, is not on board. He is not thinking this is a good idea. And I know compromise is essential. Maybe you can compromise, and for him to feel better, you have a good backup plan, like a hospital backup plan. Maybe you interview midwives together. Maybe you have a doula involved, just so that everybody feels comfortable, but you should both be on the same page, because in most home births, your husband is going to be your biggest cheerleader during the birth, besides the midwife or possibly a friend that you might invite to the birth. So that was number 2. Number 3, I think it's really important that you're naturally health-minded, because if you are more modern medicine minded, I don't even think you're going to want to have a home birth. But most ladies that I know who have had home births are naturally minded. They're using herbs to assist all throughout pregnancy, along with the advice and discretion with the midwife. But there are many herbs that can aid the body through the different stages of pregnancy. and then during birth, and then after for recovery, as well as when I say naturally health minded, but taking care of your body in many multitude of ways. You really are going to be your own advocate and proactive in the care of your well-being during the pregnancy. I have found that a lot of ladies who go to the hospital kind of like take a back seat, and it's like, okay, this thing is happening to me, and then I'm going to be saved at the at the hospital by the doctors. And because there's this like out, or I shouldn't say it that way, because there's many drugs to help alleviate natural childbirth, you're not as on top of your health as you are when you know, like, you're at home. You got to prepare. It's like a marathon. It's like a competition, and your body's got to be fit, and you know you have to be like ready to go. Number 4, you're determined to see it through. And I would say if you are wishy-washy, on the fence, not sure, I would attend some natural home births if you can, or talk to midwives, or watch videos on natural childbirth, or read some books. But you really have to have determination, especially when that third trimester comes along and you're feeling like, well, usually you're very ready, but when the rubber hits the road, you have to be determined. That's what I'll say. And let's do number 6. Oh, actually, this is number 5. I'm moving it. It goes along with determined. Have a strong why. So you need to know, like, this is why I'm doing it. For me, I had a lot of strong whys. One, I had one of my children in the hospital, and I did not like being drugged. I wound up having an epidural, which I had wanted to have a natural childbirth, but my first time, it didn't happen, and I wound up getting it. But I barely remember, like, after he was born, I was in like a drug-induced state from the epidural. I didn't like that. They take your baby right away. I didn't like that. It was just like, very not homey. Also, my strongest why is I did not want an epidural. I did not want drugs in my body. I wanted a clean, I guess I would say clean birth without drugs in my body. That was one of my strongest whys, and I wanted to keep my baby with me. Second strongest why. So you need to have a strong why. 6, I would say you should be financially able. Can you have a natural childbirth, home birth on a shoestring? You could, but I know it's very stressful. I've had people talk to me, and there's a big concern with budget. And having a baby can already be like nerve-wracking, especially if it's your first time. So putting like that enormous financial stress on yourself to like be able to pay for your midwife or pay for your doula or pay, you have to pay for everything when you have a home birth. Like I bought pools to have a home birth in a pool. You buy supplies, like all that cost is on your shoulders. So if your finances are super tight and it's going to cause more stress, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do a home birth. I would look for like the best natural approximation at a hospital. I know that some hospitals have like birthing centers, and they have midwives that work at the hospital, and you can have a really nice like experience that's more closer to home than traditionally. But don't put yourself under like a huge bind financially. So I think I'm on 7. You need to be resourceful, willing to do your own research. And I would say that goes even when you are having a baby at the hospital, but even more so at home, because, you have support from your midwife. You have support from, if you've hired a doula, and that's like a whole nother video. But you're going to need to be a researcher. You're going to need to be your own advocate. What I did is read a lot of books on home birth. I read books on meditation to have like, a pain-free childbirth through meditation. You do a lot of research when you're doing this at home, like methods and just your body has to be really primed is all I have to say. You have to know a lot, where from my comparative experience, when you go to the hospital, you're just like putting everything in someone else's hands. So resourceful is key. And the last thing for this list, and this list could probably go on, but I would say number 8, check off all these things that I'm listing here. You're a good candidate for a natural home birth. So number 8 would be willing to temporarily cut out naysayers. Being able to say no, having good boundaries. So I had like the best boundaries when I was pregnant. Like it was so easy for me to make boundaries when I had this little being in my belly. But I would not hear anyone's like horror birth stories. Like I just cut those out. And then family members, friends, people who were not supportive of the natural home birth process, I didn't really talk to them very much during my pregnancies, because I really just wanted to focus. It takes an enormous amount of concentration, focus, maybe not concentration. You're focused on the goal and you're keeping your mind set on trust and faith in your body and in God, in the miracle process of having a baby, in what, in the naturalness of what God created our female body to be able to do. So, you might have to like close people out temporarily. If you're a people pleaser, you might not be a good candidate, because you're really going to have to please what is best for you, what is best for the baby. So I love talking on this topic. It's one I have not shared on this channel, and I have many video ideas that I could incorporate. Get lots of questions about herbs and pregnancy. So if you have any questions, you want to put them in the comments section. Please also like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Check out my description down below. I have my link tree there, which links to my own personal links, my website, my Etsy shop, and then also some other links where I send you to make purchases, like Mountain Rose Herb for buying herbs, my Young Living website, which is the only place I say to get your essential oils, and more. I haven't checked my link tree in a while. I forget what's in there. I gotta look. But thanks for coming, and come again soon.